the woman herself, we have Miss Janet.
I always ask him to bring this in because this is Marvin Tate's D-Settlement from Chicago, and I have to have my Chicago reference somehow. Yay. Hi. I've got a gentleman in here for the week who is was from the Chicagoland area, and I was just thinking, oh, he's here visiting people in Texas, and I was just thinking, all right.
Yeah, he's coming.
In Texas, you see big flags waving, and you see bumper stickers telling us to secede. And then I think, oh, wait, then I found out he was actually born here, but then 2 years later he moved to Chicago and spent his life. And I'm like, all right, so I don't know how much of a connection he has. I've got 3 poems for you. This one, because this man has heard me read poems like this in the past, and for those of you who do not know, over the years ago, I decided to write a poem for every element in the periodic table, which is crazy, and I did a little booklet of all of them. And recently I decided I wanted to write another poem about it, which wasn't a part of my series, and it was new, and I wanted to share it with you. So this is number 94 in the periodic table. This is for Plutonium. This poem is called Pluto, Plutonium and Death. My kingdom is the underworld. You could imagine the King Pluto from ancient Greek mythology, say. And an 11-year-old English girl thought this was the perfect name for a planet surrounded by darkness. And for decades, the rogue, this rebellious quote-unquote planet, had a different orbit from its brethren, crossed paths with brother Neptune, and was otherwise just one that didn't quite fit in. Maybe that's why the big boy club of astronomy kicked Pluto out. They said, you're not good enough to be one of us. But shrouded in death seems to be the theme for Pluto. Man-made element 94 is not naturally occurring, but only existing after smashing heavy water, deuterium, into uranium. And for those of you with any nuclear know-how, you know that whatever uranium smashes into has got to be crazy dangerous. And it is. Since plutonium has been on the scene since 1940, the only thing we've known it for is for the nuclear bomb, the fat boy that blew up Nagasaki. Great legacy, plutonium. You first carried the torch of death and destruction before Pluto itself was demoted from planet status. With the fight for Pluto, when the flight for Pluto first came to light, even little children wrote letters to protest. Don't kill this dark mystery, they pleaded, because even little children were fascinated with the concept, especially when it seemed so far away. I look around me now. I see the destruction we bring upon ourselves. Christians bombing abortion clinics, Muslims shrouding women and beheading non-believers, Chicago gangs shooting some in retribution for more shooting. The violence doesn't end. But the darkness, the death that seems to be ruled by the planet/non-planet, named from Greek mythology, and the element whose only function we humans know is complete annihilation. How fitting that Pluto and plutonium are forever locked in this deadly dance. Thank you. You may know you learned about elements yourself, but didn't know. Because I'm not sure if I will be here I might not be here next week because I'm going to be celebrating New Orleans Halloween, and I don't know about election stuff. I found an old poem. I actually wrote this for a feature in Chicago called Stripped, I believe, and it is something that was done right before an election. You don't need to know which one. This one is called Your Minions Are Dying. We seem to have allowed ourselves this fate. We seem to have asked for this, but maybe we didn't know what we were asking for. We thought we knew what we were doing, that we were doing the right thing when we chose you. But I suppose that's what all battered housewives say. He wasn't like this when I met him. He's a good man, really. But it was only after we accepted you and you asked us to sacrifice and told us to have faith, like all the preachers who ask us to give when you're only rewarded after you're dead, if you believe them. You told us we'd be free if we stayed together as a family, and it was like you placed your hand on the Bible and asked us to give up more for you. But don't most dictators ask their followers to sacrifice until they've been bled dry? You weren't the only one fighting for us, you know. You had competition. You both tried to woo us over, even though you two are more alike than you think. Who am I kidding? You two are both just like everyone else. You two were two sides of the same coin. Yeah, you have opposite sides, but you were still the same damn coin. Y'all wanted us to trust you even though we were harmless. You still pulled out all of your weaponry to keep us in line when we weren't looking, all while saying that it was for our own good. With you two, my choices were either to jump off and jump in and drown in someone's abuse or just be dragged in by the other for the same fates. You keep throwing your generalities at us and expect us to eat it up like hungry animals waiting out for more of your handouts. But if we were hungry animals, we'd take what you gave us, and then we'd kill you and eat your remains. But we're not animals, so stop treating us like fools. Yeah, you had competition, but no one could save us from your fate, and all of you were so much alike that we only had to choose the lesser of two evils. But did we make the right choice? You keep saying that you'll make us feel safe, but all I can think is that dictators historically played on fear to make their minions feel like they needed their leader. Well, you don't make me feel more safe. You make me feel more scared. And I wonder if I can take care of myself, and I never needed any of you anyway. Others have come along and tried to save us from the likes of you, but no one told me how I could be free. No one told me how I was to be rescued. When I was little, I played office with my friend Sherry. We had a little board painted white with little toggle switches stuck on it and buttons and dials on it. It probably had an earpiece for a phone on it too. And we had this little control panel, this little console sitting on top of our little desk, and we'd sit there with it and we press a lot of buttons and we flip the toggle switches up and down and act like that we were receiving important phone calls, and it looked like we were doing something. It looked like we were accomplishing things. And all of you leaders, all you do, you all say you have a plan, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen how you can save me from the madness. You all are trying to flip these damn toggle switches, and you don't know what the hell they do, but you act like you know, and you act like you're accomplishing something. We are supposed to accept blindly whatever the likes of you hand out to us. You try to act like you can save us, but there are people dying over here. We're jobless, homeless, dying. We're drowning in this ocean of helplessness, and we'll grab onto whatever line we can get a hold of. And is that why we counted on you? But your minions won't be strong enough to cling to you forever.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm going to do one short one. This is something I did at a recent show when I was a guest host at the Baha'i Center, doing things related to costumes and the like, and that's why I've got this awesome jacket on. Sweet. Nobody understood when I did this before, and hopefully somebody here will get it. This is my last piece tonight, and it's called Salesman. The doorbell rang. Who could be stopping at this hour, I thought. So I put my work down and I walked to the door. A man in a plaid suit stood in the entranceway with a worn book in his hand. His business suit seemed like a costume that looked comical for this sad comedian, this sad clown. I almost expected to see his twirling bow tie or water shooting out of that fake flower in his pocket, but he flashed me a tired, business-like smile. It almost looked genuine. As he rambled on and on about, well, I don't really know what he said. I don't even know what he wanted. Oh, what is he selling? I thought, as my head became dizzy with his confusing words. Try to be nice to the strange man. He knocked on your door and you felt obliged to welcome it in. It all seemed like nonsense, but you listened to his words and you tried to make sense of his nouns and his verbs. But when you started to hear fractions, he mentioned a call to action. I didn't like what I heard, but I tried to listen. I wanted to listen, but after a while, I had to hold on to the door frame to keep myself steady while this man's thoughts tried to knock me down. I finally stopped him. "Oh, what are you trying to sell me? What are you trying to do?" I asked. And the man looked at me and said, "I'm trying to sell you an ideology. I'm trying to poison your mind." I slammed the door. Alone, I let go of the door frame. I fell down. I have a spare copy of a chapbook of things I read from that evening. If Mike or somebody else, you get a copy, and thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And scene. That was Janet